You wanted to get to this question from Dexter. I like it too.
It's a fun question. Yeah.
These are the things that honestly the Patriots in their draft room, in their prep, they answer questions just like this, right? Scenarios where if these two guys that we both really like, that we have very, very high in our ratings, are both available when we're on the clock, who are we taking and why? These seem to me like the four guys that I would say once you get past this wave, right? If they're on the clock at 21 and one of these four names is not available still, then I think they're trading back, right? I think this is sort of
Right.
the cutoff of the talent in
I
that
would even
21st pick.
say I would even say with Lloyd, I think there's a chance they trade back just because this
Yeah,
linebacker class
the
is so
linebacker class is
good.
really good. I
I
will,
yeah,
you know how I feel about Lloyd, so I'm with you
right.
on that one.
I
Yeah.
would almost replace Lloyd in this hypothetical with Trevor Penning if you want to include a fourth guy.
Yeah, I have a tough time with Trevor Penning at 21. I don't know what it
I
is, but I have a
if
tough
it
time
look
for that.
so before we answer this question, let's answer a different question. Sitting there
Right.
at 21, Davis, Olave, Booth gone. Lloyd Penning.
Ugh. I would probably take Penning strictly because I think Devin Lloyd's a better prospect, right? I think
Okay.
I will have a higher grade on Devin Lloyd than I do on Trevor Penning.
Yeah,
But the drop off from Trevor Penning to Raymond or whoever your
sure.
next tackle is, I think is more substantial than your drop off from Devin Lloyd to Christian Harris, right? Or
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd to Quay Walker or Chad Mumma or whoever your next linebacker is. So for that reason, I would take Penning, but I do think that Lloyd is overall the better prospect, and I'm going to be lower on Lloyd than some people, which I get. But I think that that's where I would go at with that. But in
Okay.
this situation, to answer the question, out of this group, I think Jordan Davis is the best player at his position
Oh
in
yeah.
the field, right?
Yeah.
He's also the most limited in terms of his usage. He's going to be a nose tackle. He has to be a nose tackle. He might be able to play like a over guard or shaded over the guard, but he's going to be a nose tackle. He's going to be in the middle of the line. You're probably going to take him off the field on third down. He's Vince Wilfork, right? That's the type of
I
player that he
still
is.
think you're underselling him as a pass rusher, but okay.
Maybe I am. I think that there was a lack of exposure in that sense at Georgia, right? They didn't
Yeah.
use him because they brought on their Devontae Wyatts and their Trayvon Walkers, and they brought on the next wave of their pass rush talent, right? They basically had line changes when they felt like they
Right.
got into passing situations. So maybe on a team that wants to stick with the same core group and isn't rotating guys as much out like Georgia did, there's a difference here. It's the same thing I should mention. The same thing happened to Christian Barmore at Alabama, right? Alabama went 10 deep on the defensive line, so he didn't always play, right? It wasn't
Right.
because he wasn't awesome. He just didn't always play. So maybe Jordan Davis has some untapped potential there as a pass rusher. I will say, if you're going to single block Jordan Davis in the pass rush, good luck anchoring against his bull rush, right? Like that's the
Right.
difference is that a guy like Jordan Davis might not give you the on ball production of a Christian Barmore, for example, in terms of pressures and sacks and things like that. But he's going to occupy guys and give single blocks to everybody else. So if they try to single him with the center or with the guard over the nose, that guard is going to get walked back into the quarterback by Jordan Davis. So you have to have that as a category in his pass rush ability. Is his bull rush, his ability to dent or collapse the pocket. But again, let's get back to the
Yeah.
question. I still lean towards Davis. I like the idea if they bring JC Jackson back. I actually like the idea of drafting Booth even more because I think pairing JC Jackson with Andrew Booth is the Patriots no fly zone in 2022, right? Like I think that has real potential. Maybe not 2022, but if you're signing JC to a 4-year contract and you're drafting Booth now in 2023, 2024, 2025, you're going to have a really dominant secondary, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love Olave. So this is a really tough one. I don't know where I go with it. If you force me to answer the question without free agency and without knowing where they go, I take Chris Olave.
So, to me, it depends on free agency, right? If
Right.
Jackson leaves, it's Booth because corner is such a monumental need. If Jackson leaves 21, you're taking the best corner on the board, whether it's Booth or whoever it is. If Jackson stays, like I think he will, I'm taking Olave. I think Davis is the best player like you do. I've said I think Jordan Davis should be a top 10 pick in this draft.
Right.
That being said, we've talked about on this show going back to last year, why do the Patriots struggle to draft receivers? And the reason being simply that a big part of it being college receivers. The college game has drifted so far from the NFL game. And the Patriots offensive system, even by NFL standards, is a little archaic, that you're essentially asking receivers coming directly from the college level to learn a new sport.
Yeah.
Chris Olave's game and the way he's developed at Ohio State actually pairs well with the Patriots offensive system. I don't know that there's been a wide receiver that's a better fit for the Patriots specifically in the last few years, not just this year, but I'm talking about
the only one that
4 years
is even close is Justin Jefferson, who was a slam dunk pick in a similar way for different reasons. I would say that they won and ran routes a little bit differently. Olave is definitely more of a vertical route runner, right? He's somebody that's going to play more vertical game than Justin Jefferson, who can make some of those quicker routes underneath the defense. Not that Olave can't do that, but that's his game at Ohio State was getting up the field, right?
But
he
again,
was a vertical route runner there.
He's going to understand the Patriots offense way better than your average college wide receiver. And guys like that don't come along often. So
when you're watching a guy like Chris Olave, I think what separates him from me from everybody else in this class as a route runner and as a technician is how few wasted steps or wasted movement he has in and out of his route breaks, right? If you go watch an Ohio State game, go watch Chris Olave and then watch Garrett Wilson on the other side and look at how much quicker Chris Olave gets in and out of a break than Garrett Wilson does, right? Garrett Wilson, it takes him 3 or 4, sometimes 5 steps to gather, get in and out of the break, and get open. He's got great quickness at the top of the route, create separation, but he takes a lot of steps. He's very leggy to get to that point. With Chris Olave, it's so damn smooth. Like there's no wasted movement. There's no extra steps in his breaks. It's just in and out. And those types of receivers always have done such good things with the Patriots. And he's just really a perfect blend of, okay, he does have that acceleration and that burst off the line of scrimmage to get up the field and create some big plays with his route running down the field. But he also has that ability to run. If you're calling him to run an out, he's going to run the out at the yardage marker that you want him to run at every single time. He's not going to drift. He's not going to take 10 minutes to get out of the break. You're going to tell him to run. If you tell him to run an 11-yard out, he's running the out at 11 yards, right? You tell him to run a 5-step slant, it's a 5-step slant, no problem. Those are the types of things that I think separate him from the rest of these guys. The only guy I have ahead of Olave on my wide receivers rankings is Jameson Williams, just because I don't think you can teach that kind of speed. When you have that level of speed, it's just a difference. There's just a different pace that he moves at versus the rest of the class. But if I was grading it strictly on who's technically the best wide receiver in the draft, it's Chris Olave to me. Guys like Jameson, just different type of speed, and I will always have those guys higher. Thanks for watching our content of the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. Please subscribe to my podcast, Patriots Beat, on our YouTube channel, Patriots Press Pass, or wherever you get your podcasts for a lot more exclusive content right here on the CLNS Media Network.